Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your daily dose of zombies news from the game and community here on COD Zombies HQ. Thanks a lot for tuning in today. There is a lot to talk about, where we finally actually have Treyarch themselves give us specifics about the new changes coming to zombies with the DLC, as well as the first general details about a new zombies map coming into the mode, and we also get some startling info about the way XP actually ends up working now in zombies that I think you're gonna want to hear. But without further ado, let's kick things right off with our first story of the day. Today, Treyarch held one of their extended lengths developer live streams where they talk about the new content coming into the game, and in this stream, in the zombies section, we actually now get details about what makes the seasonal game mode coming to zombies in Season 1 different, besides just the different character models for the zombies and bosses. Well, the hook for this new game mode seems to be that Treyarch are removing the ability to use the mystery box, where the mystery box will be stolen from a Santa Megaton flying in his sleigh at the beginning of each zombies game. And in order to replace the mystery box, Treyarch has added various snowball piles around the map that you can throw at zombies. We assume they're kind of like one-hit takedowns, almost like the tomahawks. Then when you end up shattering those frozen zombies, they have a chance to drop a new kind of drop into this game, that is the present, where opening up the present is kind of like opening up a mystery box, but instead of just weapons that it can reward you with, it also rewards you with equipment. Also, of course, you can earn random weapons from this present as well, and you can actually have a negative effect. You can have coal being granted to you if you're unlucky opening a present as well. We don't exactly know what the negative effect will be, or if it'll just be you get coal and you get no weapon or anything from your present, but that seems to be the way you acquire new weapons in zombies as being the major change with this Jingle Hell's game mode coming into the game. And I'm sure with the wide range of rewards you can actually get out of these new present item drops, those of you that get the rush of excitement from opening the crate from the Coffin Dad's Easter egg every time can now experience that every few minutes with these present drops. Beyond that, we get a few brief glimpses of some of the map changes coming to Maschine, where it seems like there's a whole bunch of visual additions to the map. What we don't know as of now is if any new Easter eggs are going to be added to the map in this game mode with the new update. And beyond the addition of the new game mode and map variant itself, we now have actual footage of the new score streak coming to the zombies mode, which I assume will then be featured on every subsequent zombies DLC map, where we can see the cruise missile score streak in action in zombies for the first time. The developer on the live stream mentioned that it will cost less salvage than a chopper gunner. I hope so, obviously, as you'll probably be able to take down a lot less zombies with it. But a huge underrated part of these score streaks, like the chopper gunner, that takes you out of your first person perspective and puts you into the chopper, or in this case lets you actually path the cruise missile, is that it can work as a clutch get out of jail free card in zombies. You get trapped in the corner, your health is really low, you're probably going to go down if you don't do something that you can't escape from. Just go ahead and pop that cruise missile score streak. You'll be invulnerable while you're in the actual TV screen, and the zombies will path away from you during that time, just like you were in Ether Shroud. Before, that method could only be done with the chopper gunner, which costs a fairly significant amount of salvage, especially in the early game. With the cruise missile costing less salvage, that gives players another option to get out of jail free if you ever get stuck. So remember, when it does release, to always have that cruise missile on lock, on standby, ready to use when you need it. Treyarch then talked about and showed us our first gameplay of the new Cranked limited time mode coming mid-season, so probably around a month from now, and I think there is some good and some bad. The bad first is it seems like they're really touting this as an ultra cooperative mode, right? If you're playing 4-player Cranked, the objective isn't to be the one that survives the longest, it's again to survive together as a team. If one of your buddies' crank timer depletes to 0, they'll just end up going down and you can try to revive them. I was kind of hoping, and I know a lot of people were too, that it'd be a little bit more competitive based, where you're trying to outpace the other players in the game to survive the longest, but unfortunately it doesn't seem like that's the direction they're going to go with this mode. Treyarch then ended the zombies section of the live stream with the first actual teaser from Treyarch themselves about a new map coming to the zombies mode, where they said this. Take a listen.
So recently we've added additional intel into Maschine for players to discover. You might find a hint of what's to come at the start of Season 2. We will be bringing you a brand new map at the start which is going to be a lot of
So
fun.
obviously the big takeaways about the new map that's going to be coming to Zombies in Season 2, they are confirming that the new intel which was added recently into Maschine points to the location of that DLC 2 map. A lot of that new intel references a location in Vietnam, specifically near the Khe Sanh combat base, which seems like Treyarch tacitly confirming that yes, Firebase Z will be the next Zombies map set in Vietnam, and that it is expected to release when Season 2 begins. The second part of that is the community has noticed that he highlighted that this will be a brand new Zombies map. Just like Maschine featured a section of Naktaran Toten, Firebase Z will feature parts of Shino Numa. Here the developer is stressing that this will be a brand new map, so maybe it won't feature Shino Numa, but they probably would have said that Maschine is also a brand new map, so I'm not sure if we can use that specific phrasing to discount that parts of Shino Numa will be playable in this new Firebase Z map when it releases at the top of Season 2, we expect in early to mid-February. So still quite a while that we'll be hanging on to Maschine as the only map here in the Zombies mode, so that is at its core very disappointing from Treyarch, but it is good to know that there is new map content on the horizon, where it is, where it's going to be set, and when we're going to actually be able to play it. Now moving on to our second story of the day, I was sent this Zombies clip over on Twitter where I'm not 100% sure what to make of this. Now I'm going to play the clip in just a second, and I want you to listen very carefully when the clip is ongoing, because it seems like there's a sound effect that's attached to the very odd thing in the clip itself. Take a listen. So this player was on a pretty high round 59. He spins the mystery box, and seconds later, a beam of light flashes through the map towards him with its own swooshing kind of sound effect. I'm not sure if you guys heard it, but it did have its own dedicated sound effect, which to me seems it less likely that it's actually just a visual glitch. Visual glitches usually don't have sound effects associated with them. The beam of light here actually reminds me to the beam of light that you get when you actually complete the giant monster hand Easter egg on the map. At the end of that Easter egg, when you get the 15 kills required, a similar beam of light shoots from that hand towards your weapon, upgrading it to legendary tier status. So this could end up being related to a new Easter egg on the map, perhaps for spinning the box a certain number of times, but I've personally never seen anything like it in Cold War Zombies so far, so be sure to look out to see if you can find a similar effect appearing in your own Zombies games next time you hop into the map. Next up, as it's currently double XP, double weapon XP for just a little bit longer, we now actually have, thanks to Smart Guy, the definitive numbers on how XP progression works here in Zombies, and it reveals a kind of unfortunate detail about how Treyarch has programmed this game to work, where through countless hours of testing across multiple accounts, Smart Guy has found that at its core, weapon progression when playing Zombies solo earns you dramatically less XP than when playing with 2 players, when playing with 3 players, and when playing with 4 players, where 4 players earns you the max number of XP per zombie kill, where for some reason Treyarch has decided that each zombie takedown in a solo player's match should reward you with less core XP for some reason, which is something that I think a lot of us flatly disagree with, that every zombie takedown should be worth the exact same amount of XP, doesn't matter how many players are in your match, and it's really bad that they decided to punish solo players in that way for apparently no reason. With his testing, we can now kind of put to bed some of the urban legends developing in Cold War Zombies, where for example he confirms that crits, headshots, and assists should award equal regular XP per takedown, so you may get more points in game for getting crits and or headshots, but you don't actually earn more XP from them. Secondly, that as of now, playing in a private match and playing in a public match seems to actually give you the same XP. If you remember, back when the XP rates were glitched in Zombies during their first double XP event, playing in a public match helped to negate some of that issues. It seems like Treyarch has fixed it themselves, so that's no longer a problem. Next up is a point that kind of helps myself, but probably not a lot of you guys out there, where Smart Guy has found where melees with the Bowie knife that you can start with at the beginning of the game if you've upgraded that skill in your Zombies menu using Ethereum crystals, it actually gives you 0 weapon XP. but melees with the actual butt of your weapon does reward you with the XP for that weapon. So if you're someone like me that intentionally didn't level up that last skill because you just want to keep meleeing with your weapon, you actually can get XP by doing that, whereas for people with a Bowie knife, you earn 0 weapon XP when using it, unfortunately. Smart Guy also makes it a point to point out that in his testing, ammo mods and or elemental pop were not used because if you weren't aware, any actual zombie takedowns you get with your alternate ammo types and or those that activate from elemental pop, so if your brain rot goes and takes down a zombie, it won't reward you with XP for your weapon, but rather it'll reward you with some reason for XP for the M1911. So if you ever notice that you're playing zombies and randomly ranked up your M1911 during or at the end of the game, but you weren't ever using it in the match, that's why. And lastly, Smart Guy notes that any of the big XP bonuses that you get when doing something special in zombies, like earning a medal for taking a whole bunch of zombies down really quickly, or earning a camo and the XP bonus that comes with that, that doesn't actually seem to grant you any more weapon XP, that's just general actual level player progression XP. So if you want to make the most out of what's left of the double XP here in zombies, it seems like the best play is to play in a 4-player match, try to get as many assists with your buddies as possible to maximize how quickly you can level up in this game, because otherwise, especially if you play solo, it's going to be a heck of a grind. You can check out Smart Guy's full video in the description for a longer breakdown of these stats and the best strategy to level up quickly, because that wraps up today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, why not consider leaving a thumbs up on the video, and hey, why not subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I'm really hoping that the new additions coming to the mode will keep us engaged until that new Firebase Z map releases, but worst case Ontario, it'll keep us engaged for a week or two with a little bit of downtime until that new mid-season game mode comes out. But I want to thank you again for watching, and I'll see you with another Zombies News video tomorrow. Peace.